Academic work requires a significant expenditure of energy. It is cognitively, emotionally, and even physically challenging. It requires a lot of resources to engage ongoingly with difficult academic projects. So it's really important that we are aware that we need a way of working that's actually sustainable, where we are avoiding the depletion of our own resources because our work needs us to show up to it resourced, that we have something to give to it so that we can actually accomplish things and reach our goals. So, this week in the academic writer space, our theme is sustainability. And it's actually the first time that we've ever done this theme. And in preparation for this week, it has really caused me to realize that the way that I'm working is actually not feeling sustainable for me. And I am in process of making some changes. So I'm especially excited to participate in this conversation with all of you about building a sustainable pathway to working effectively. So here's a few things you can think about this week. If you're coming to our writing retreats, these are things that you could absolutely practice on your own. First of all, we all need an external infrastructure. So, an external infrastructure is about having a really clear plan of what am I actually planning to do day to day, even hour to hour. When are the zones of time that I'm planning on engaging with my academic work? What specifically do I want to do? Have tasks that have a beginning and end that are close together. Be thoughtful about the transition time you need and when are you going to eat and when do you get to rest, so that there is a laid out plan for you, like an infrastructure that tells you when to do what. You also then want to have an environment set up that's aligned with the actions that you need to take, and that the materials, digital and physical, that you need to do the work you need to do are already available to you, easy to get your hands on them. Because if you can't find the things that you need to do the things, you're going to be much more likely to avoid and procrastinate. And it's taxing to you to have to expend that extra energy to find things in order to do things. It requires more resources than really necessary to spend. So when we build an external infrastructure, we make it easier for ourselves. It doesn't require as many resources to show up and just get down to business. We also want to remember that we need to be project managers. We are the ones who are in charge of making the plan, of deciding what we are going to do and what we're not going to do, what commitments we're going to take on. That there has to be somebody who's not just here to do the work, but who's really here to manage the work and manage the resources and be able to recognize, I think that I'm getting pretty depleted. What do I need? Also, when you're wanting to work in a more sustainable way, it's really important to pay attention to your pace and your intensity level. So when we feel stressed, pressured, we've got deadlines, we're trying to hustle and make things happen, we often pick up the pace and start to move at a speed that is actually unwise given what we're trying to accomplish. And we get intense, like we start to raise the standards for the quality of work, and we're working kind of a tight and contracted and gritting our teeth, and I've got to get this done. And the level of intensity is actually very taxing to our system and uses more resources than necessary. And that level of intensity is not very receptive. It's hard to really engage in the work in a way that works when we're too intense. So start to pay attention to the signs in your own body and your own thinking that you're moving at a pace or with a level of intensity that's actually too much, that's too taxing for you. So it's going to be a great week to talk about how we can become more conscious of the real legitimate need that we have to ongoingly replenish our resources so that we're not depleted. Our work, the research that you're working on, needs a resourced you to show up and engage in it in order for things to be accomplished. So that's why taking care of yourself, taking time out, unplugging from technology, things like being in nature are so incredibly important because they help build us back up and resource us, in a sense, nourish us and hydrate us, literally and metaphorically, in a sense, that we are resourced and ready and able to sit down and focus and concentrate and get something done. So I'm looking forward to co-working with each and every one of you. It's always a pleasure to be with you over Zoom. And if you have not been co-working with us, this is a fantastic week to come and practice working in a way that's sustainable. You can go to the link in our bio and sign up for a free week of membership. And I'll be so happy to see you on Zoom. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great week.